when Gru needs the toilet. Immediately, the house is quiet. The clock ticks. Gru stands in the middle of the room, holding his stomach, pale-faced Gurgle. Gurgle Gru bends over, rushes toward the bathroom. Gru inserts the key, turns it. It won't open. Gru turns again, harder. Still won't open. The minions hear the noise, turn around. They look at Gru, instantly understand. The minions kick the door. It won't budge. Another minion pushes. The door shakes. Gru clutches his stomach, sweat drips. The doctor runs over, dragging a vacuum cleaner. Plugs it in, turns it on. Run! Powerful suction. The vacuum doesn't pull the door. It sucks in the minions instead. Minions stick to the hose, dangling in the air. Click! The door opens. Gru dashes straight into the bathroom, slams the door shut. Bam! Outside, the vacuum turns off. The minions drop to the floor. Everyone sighs in relief. A light flight, an afternoon at the park. A minion holds an umbrella, looks at the sky, strolling happily. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind. The umbrella flips inside out. The minion is lifted off the ground. Feet dangling, the minion flies low. Hands gripping the umbrella handle tightly. Other minions turn around, panic. The whole group rushes over. Grab the minion's legs. The minion gets pulled downward, but the wind still holds on. Gru runs over, adds his strength from below. The whole group forms a chain, pulling the minion down. A tense moment. The wind weakens, the umbrella collapses. The minion drops gently onto the grass. Thump! Everyone falls into a pile. The minion sits up, rubbing his head. The other minions sigh in relief. A moment later, another breeze passes by. The umbrella lifts slightly again. The minion panics and immediately lets go of the umbrella, letting the wind carry it away. Forming a DIY band an afternoon in the backyard. Poppy sits and drinks some water. Agnes sits nearby, playing with toys. One minion flips a pot upside down, uses a spoon to tap it. Clang! The minion jumps in surprise right arrow, taps again. Clang! Clang! Another minion runs over right arrow, grabs a cardboard box, slaps the box with his hands, thump thump. Agnes gets curious arrow right, picks up an empty plastic bottle, shakes it, rattle rattle. The group looks at each other, arrow right. They start playing a band arrow right. Everyone has a different rhythm. Poppy stands up, arrow right. Claps along to the beat. One minion keeps drumming arrow right. Gets more and more excited. Arrow right. Drums while dancing. Clang, clang. Dance is too hard. The spoon slips out of his hand. Whoosh! The spoon hits another minion on the head. Then everyone bursts out laughing. Forming a DIY band an afternoon in the backyard. Poppy sits and drinks some water. Agnes sits nearby playing with toys. One minion flips the pot upside down, uses a spoon to tap it. Clang! The minion jumps in surprise right arrow, taps again. Clang! Clang! Another minion runs over right, grabs a cardboard box, slaps the box with his hands, thump thump. Agnes gets curious, picks up an empty plastic bottle, shakes it, rattle rattle. The group looks at each other. They start playing a band. Everyone has a different rhythm. Poppy stands up, claps along to the beat. One minion keeps drumming, gets more and more excited. Drumming while dancing. Clang! Clang! Dance is too hard. The spoon slips out of his hand. Whoosh! The spoon hits another minion on the head. Then everyone bursts out laughing. The toy car goes out of control an afternoon in the garden. Agnes sits on the toy car. A minion stands nearby, holding the remote control. The minion presses a button gently. The car moves slowly. Agnes is delighted. The minion gets curious, presses another button. The car suddenly speeds up. The car races around the garden, wheels skidding fast. Agnes is startled, grips the steering wheel tightly. The minion panics, presses buttons randomly. The car goes faster and faster. Gru runs out from the house, sees Agnes on the car. Gru runs alongside the car, arms outstretched. Gru lifts Agnes up, pulls her off the car safely. Agnes hugs Gru, lets out a sigh of relief. The car keeps going, with no one driving. The car heads straight toward a tree. Bump! The car lightly hits the tree. stops completely. The Minion stands frozen, staring at the car. Gru crosses his arms and turns to stare at the Minion, stares intensely. The Minion raises the remote, scratches his head, and gives an awkward smile. Minion cooks breakfast morning in the kitchen. A Minion wearing a chef's hat stands in front of the stove, very confident. The Minion turns on the stove, places a pot on top. The Minion pours ingredients into the pot, stirs evenly. Other Minions stand around, watching closely. One Minion sprinkles seasoning, just a little. Another Minion adds more, much more. A third Minion pours in the entire bottle of seasoning. The chef Minion freezes. The pot boils over the lid, flies off. Bang! The lid hits the floor. Smoke rises. The kitchen becomes messy, splattered, blackened. The Minion stand still, faces covered in seasoning. Poppy walks into the kitchen, stops, looks at the scene in front of her. A moment of silence. Poppy lets out a soft breath, rolls up her sleeves. Poppy grabs another pan, adds fresh ingredients. Poppy cooks neatly, quickly. The Minions stand around, watching. A delicious smell fills the air. Poppy plates the new dish, clean and tasty. The Minions look at the food. Eyes light up. Poppy smiles, hands on her hips. An afternoon by the lake. The lake is calm, a light breeze blowing. The whole group is fishing along the shore. Gru sits on a chair. The Minions stand behind. Peeking around curiously, the bobber twitches. Gru stares intently. The bobber sinks. Gru jerks the rod up. Nothing. Gru exhales. A Minion gets impatient, pulls the rod to help Gru. The rod shakes violently. The Minions crowd in to pull. Everyone strains together. The rod bends to its limit. Everyone is tense. Whip, pulling up. An old boot, dripping water. The whole group freezes. Agnes tilts her head, looks at the boot. One Minion laughs first. The whole group bursts out laughing. Gru looks at the boot, sighs just then. The nearby bobber jerks hard. Agnes bends down, gently lifts the rod. A small fish jumps out of the water. Agnes beams. The Minions gape. The fish flops wildly, falls back into the lake. Agnes looks surprised. The Minions laugh uncontrollably. Banana truck rescue. Gru is driving a small truck loaded with crates of bananas in the back. The Minions sit dangling from the truck, giggling as they ride along. Suddenly, clunk! The rear wheel is stuck fast against a large rock. Gru presses the gas. The truck shakes slightly. The banana crates wobble, but the vehicle doesn't move. The Minions sway, clutching the crates tightly, their eyes wide with alarm. Gru crouches down to look at the wheel, scratches his head in confusion, then signals to call for help. Dr. Nefario appears, driving an old forklift toward them, with several tools dangling from the front. The forklift stops. Dr. Nefario lowers the forks and carefully slides them under the stuck wheel. The engine hums softly as the wheel is slowly lifted, and the truck tilts to one side. Gru stands at the front to steady the truck, while Bob and Stuart push from behind. When the wheel clears the rock, Dr. Nefario lowers the forks. Thud! The wheel touches the ground safely. The Minions cheer and dance around the forklift. Agnes drops the cake. Agnes carefully carries a large cake, the white frosting wobbling slightly. She beams with excitement, her eyes sparkling. Kevin is wiping the table. Stuart sits on a chair eating a banana. Bob lies on the floor hugging his stuffed bear. And Poppy stands near the kitchen, eyes following every movement. Agnes takes a few more steps and slips. The cake spins slowly in the air. Gru reaches for it and misses. Kevin jumps, but still can't catch it. Stuart slides across the floor. Bob lunges and trips over Kevin, flipping over. Poppy manages to pull Bob out of the way, then reaches for the cake herself. Then, bam! The cake lands right on Kevin's face. Frosting splatters everywhere. Stuart and Bob crash into Kevin, and now all three Minions are covered head to toe in frosting. Poppy stands by in time, though a few streaks of frosting are stuck in her hair.